All right, y'all. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to your weekly shot of vitamin K. Today is Tuesday, August 9th, and I am super excited to be in the building. Super excited to be in the building. Okay, y'all, I was going live on my Instagram page and realized I was on the wrong page. You know, Lord, now I got to go do it again. Okay, we're going live. All right, y'all. If this is your first time hanging out with me, I am Kishshana Palmer. I'm the CEO of Kishshana & Co. We are a leadership learning company, and we help everyday leaders just like you live well and lead well through great leadership and management trainings, retreats, offsites, coaching. Listen, y'all, we get in your business. Okay, look, my coffee's about to fall. We get in your business, y'all, but we help you to become better leaders. And what way to become a better leader than to talk about your wellness and your health? Now, listen, every week I have a different topic. And today, in this entire month, I'm going to be talking about doing a wellness and well-being check-in. Shout out to everybody who was on Instagram, who popped in, who said, "Ooh, Kish is live." We are doing a weekly shot of vitamin K. I go live typically across all my other platforms, and I keep forgetting to press live on Instagram. So I am here today as well. So just give me a wave so I know that you're hanging out with me. We could be about 30 minutes and we're in and out. All right, y'all. So it's August. Drop it in the chat if you have the little people and you are doing back to school, or your little people are already back to school. Like, just let me know who's already back in the building, whether you're an educator who watches me, or you have little people, or you have high schoolers like me. If your young people are back in school. I am in the last month before the queenager heads into her senior year of high school. And y'all, she is doing all of the senior living. "Mom, can I spend the night at my friend's house? Mom, I can't come because I have work." You know, I don't know how many of y'all got to, who worked when you were in high school, had the opportunity to work with your friends. But the queenager actually the queenager actually works with her friends. And so that part is cool. They are teaching little kids how to swim, but I did not get to work with my friends. I think my job was too fancy. I used to work for Simon & Schuster in high school. Shout out to the publicity team there. And so she's doing all the things, hanging out, all the things, taking care of herself. And I thought, as I was getting her ready to go back to school, that this was a good opportunity for us to do our own back to school check-in and check-up. So this is our August wellness check-in and check-up. I'm going to be talking about this over the next few weeks. I'm even dropping a special edition of Let's Take This Offline, my podcast for everyday leaders, which we are back in business with season 3, September 8th. But until then, I'm going to be dropping a little bonus mini. So look for that Thursday. If you're not on my list already, make sure you go to KISHSHANAVERSE.com/crew so you can jump on the list. So anyway, so I figured, like, I told my list we're going to be talking about this work. I'm sure folks are going to grab the trainings. Hey, for folks who are just joining me now. And so if you manage people, hell, if you manage yourself, this is your opportunity for us to kind of dig in and say, how do we really think about planning for our wellness? And so there are 5 components of wellness that I want y'all to be thinking about today. Thank you so much for that compliment, my friend on Instagram. This life, living truth. I love that. The thing that I want y'all to be thinking about is that when we think about wellness, a lot of times people say, "I'm working on my health game. I'm working on my wellness game." And what they're really working on is either losing weight or something with their diet. And I'm not really about diet culture. And so that's not what this is going to be about. Like, if you over here fasting for weight loss, juicing for weight loss, ketoing for weight loss, I'm probably not your person. I have made how I eat, how I work out, how I think a part of my plan. But really, I did it from the perspective that, one, I am a solo mama and my child is about to go off to somebody's institution in a year. This time next year, God willing, y'all going to be having me boo-hooing on the live because we're going to wish the baby a good life in her next adventure, right? So as I think about, like, what is my life going to look like as I move to be an empty nester? What does my life look like as a businesswoman as I think about how I'm going to navigate opportunities? I'm going to navigate things that I want to be able to do in the world. What moves am I going to make? For me, I was carrying a lot of stuff. So when we think about wellness, typically we either think about our mental health solely, or we think about our physical health and specifically around weight. So I'm not going to make it about that, but there are 5 things that I'm going to be talking about over the course of the next couple of weeks. But today I want to just lay it on y'all in terms of planning what the 5 aspects of wellness actually are and what we should be thinking about. And so when you think about your wellness journey and you think about what you want to be doing, I focus on physical health, my mental health, my emotional health, y'all, my financial health. Hold on, before I even move on, how many of y'all were like, wait a minute, financial health as a case of well-being? Absolutely. It is such a critical component of the work that we're doing because it is so important into how you actually navigate the world right now. And I know that there are probably some folks who are like, that I've never thought about that way before, but it actually is a really, really critical component. And so when you're thinking about health, I'm curious, what is the area that you typically focus on? When you think about, I'm just on my, when you say to yourself, I'm just on my wellness journey, I'm just on my journey, fill in the blank. What are you normally focusing on? Is it your health, your physical health? How you look, how you feel, you want to get your checkups? Is it your mental health? You need to get in the therapy gym. Is it your spiritual health? Is it your emotional health? Is it your financial health? Where are you in terms of the things that you're thinking about as it relates to your wellness journey? And have you considered how that shows up for you and how that shows up for the people who you impact on a daily basis? Okay, so we got physical and mental health. We got financial and mental health. Okay. And I see some of my brothers who are jumping in. I see, okay, on Instagram, I see mental and physical health. I see mind, body, and spirit. They're all connected. Absolutely. But a lot of us tend to like lean in to the area where we're experiencing the most strife. And so I leaned in to my physical aspect because I was just not well. So y'all, I was getting inflammation flare-ups all the time in my spine, which completely impacted everything that I was doing for work. Guess what else it impacted? The personal relationships I was trying to build. Now, can you imagine me, a single lady of a certain age, trying to date out in the world and limping into conversations and into meetings? Y'all, that is not cute. That is not for the cute. That is not for the cuteness. Because I was in so much pain. And so when you're in pain and when you've learned to live with pain, sorry, y'all, I'm moving all of the cameras closer to me. When you're learn to live with pain, you don't even recognize fully when things are not quite right, which means that when you've learned to live with your mental being a little bit, out of sorts, and you live with this long enough, you don't even really recognize that you're doing things that are affecting other parts of your life. So my decision to do nothing about my physical health was actually impacting me in my personal life. And y'all, it was affecting my team, which means I'm sick all the time. And by sick, I mean incapacitated, unable to walk, unable to sit at my desk for long periods of time, and unable to do the things I need to do to have a quality of life such that I can bring joy, enthusiasm, clear-headed leadership to the table for my staff members, which means I'm making snap decisions. I'm not thinking clearly all the time because I'm paying forward. So first I focused on trying to get my physical health together, right? I had to get a plan. I had to get with my doctors. I had to get with a nutritionist. Eventually I had to get with a trainer. Something had to give. And for many of us, we wait until the things have given to then start to say something has to give. If that's not you, don't say anything. But if it's you, just wink at me in the chat. Just give me a little wink emoji in the chat. If that's you, you know that you typically wait until the thing has given before you are actually starting to make decisions about it. And so the reason that I really encourage my leaders and particularly my people managers to have a wellness game plan that incorporates all aspects of your health, and this is why the check-in that we're doing this month is so critical, is because we are typically so focused on working on the behalf of our companies, of our managers, of our teams. And if we are in the top leadership spot, we have a reputation that we have to maintain. We have big decisions that have ripple effects onto the people who work with us and for us. And so they're just different things that we have to contend with. And oftentimes what that ends up meaning is that your own well-being plan goes the way of the dodo bird. And so thinking about what is the area or what are the areas that you right now, just write it down for yourself. Just swap me out for a second and put it in your notes in your phone so you don't forget. Or if you have a sticky note, if you're at your desk, I want you to write out which area do you need to like kind of dig in because you're used to digging into something else. Is it around your physical health? Is it around your mental health? Is it around your spiritual health, your emotional health, or your financial health? Which one is it around? Or is it something else? And what is doing nothing or doing the very least? How is that impacting your ability to lead? How is that impacting your ability to make decisions? And so when I think about planning, I don't want y'all to plan yourselves to death. And so you need to have this whole labyrinth and a calendar and a check-in and an app and it beeps on your phone. Like that to me, at least for me, tips me into this performance aspect where now I just want to be right. And I just want to be able to do the thing. But I want y'all to be really thinking about something that is more transformative for yourself as you think about how to plan. So one, I want you to do a pulse check of where you kind of are in your life right now. Just take a pulse on it. Where are you in your life right now? What is happening in your work life? If you are a CEO watching this right now, if you are an executive watching right now, if you are a line worker working this right now, you're like, I got 5 bosses ahead of me. Where are you really needing to kind of zero in right now? For me, 2 things. My mental health. Because I think my emotional health, I think it has swung to back where it needs to be. But my mental health and for me, my financial health. I have a good game plan as it relates to my physical health. And I looked up and realized like, y'all, all of this stuff is connected. And so when your finances are being affected, and for me, I work for myself. I have a small company. There's volatility sometimes in your cash, right? Because you're working with clients, you're working on net payments, you're doing a projection for when things are supposed to be coming in. And that volatility presses on your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health. So if you think that one area does not affect another, I want you to think again. And so I want y'all to think about one thing that you want to do in the area that you know you need to work on. And then I want you to think about in the area that you normally focus on the most, why do you focus on that thing? Is it because it's easiest to focus on it? Is it because you feel successful? Is it because it is closest into your routine? So when you think about the aspect of your health and your well-being that you focusing on the most, what is the thing that brings you to it? And the reason I want you to think about that is because I want you to use that same energy to the thing you know you need to work on. So I was working out with my trainer yesterday, and I know it is a privilege to have a trainer, and shout out to Brad. He has been phenomenal. I had to make a sacrifice to do it. So there's, certain brunches I ain't going to because the trainer got to get paid. But one of the things that I noticed yesterday, and I said to him in our conversation was, I noticed that at about 20 minutes into our workout, 20, 25 minutes was when I started to feel alive. And for the first 20 minutes, y'all, I was like, it is 6 something in the morning. I just want to go home. It's hot outside. These mosquitoes are biting me everywhere. Like, I just don't want to be here. I want to be in my bed. Out that 20, 25 minute mark, y'all, all of a sudden I started to feel like, he was like, all right, go ahead, do that run for a minute. And I was like, cool. And I started to jog and I was like, oh, this jog is feeling a little bit light right now. And so when I finished that set, I said to him, when I work out by myself, when I do my Peloton, etc., I do about 25, 30 minutes. I pick one of the exercises, one of the classes that's 30 minutes or less, do it. I'm done by the end and I get off and I'm gone. Like, I very rarely do more than that. And I was like, oh, but I've got to push myself. That's that mental, past the point where I don't want to do things because I just realized, oh, it takes me this long to get to the point where I'm like, now we're in there like swimwear. That has not occurred to me before. So something I'm doing to affect my physical health in a positive way has an immediate benefit on my mental health and my emotional health. And so I said, oh, in my plan, I got to make sure that I'm moving, because when I'm moving and I move for a certain amount of time, it actually immediately affects other things. I'm noticing in the chat, spiritual and mental health keeps me grounded. Yes, physical health. If I don't tend to it, I'm not well. And at this point in my life, it's non-negotiable. I totally agree with that. Now, I did not agree with that not even a year ago. There would have been no sentence that I'd have said, like, you know what? If I don't do my physical, no ma'am, no sirs, no things, no things, no people in the world. I would not. But I am realizing now, and one of the reasons is, y'all, I am just about done with becoming a certified health coach, health and wellness coach. So add that to the list, is that if you're not actively working on having a simple and clear plan that works for this season of your life, you are going to set yourself up for failure. And so where I see this fall off a lot, particularly for my clients who I coach every single week, I'm going to get to it. Oh, I want to be healthier this year. What does that mean? I need y'all to get a little bit more granular. By when? For what reason? What's your motivation? What are the things that are going to derail you? When does it normally happen? What do you do when it happens? Are you able to talk nice to yourself? Like really digging in. So planning does not mean you plotted things on a calendar alone. I mean, it is part of the process. But for me, it is like, what are the intentions I'm trying to set for the outcome that I'm trying to get? Absolutely. SMART goals are key. And you need those things, at least in my opinion, in your personal life. They just don't have to be complicated. And they affect your professional life. So if you've ever seen or ever been a stressed out manager, they're snapping, their breath ain't too good, they're dressing sharp, but they're just sharp, but their clothing is as sharp as their mouth. How about that? They're not really that fun to be around, unless they're a horrible human, of which there are those in the world. I wonder if we peeked into what was going on, if they were getting up early and going to sleep late, but not taking care of themselves in the middle. Or if they were, it was rote, just routine, and not necessarily a ritualistic approach to being able to lead a healthy life. So if you are leading people and managing people, and if you watched any of my lives, you know that I say this every single one, 70% of your team's success depends on you as the manager, which means your success is heavily dependent on somebody else's performance and engagement. But in the meantime, what are you doing as a day-to-day manager to ensure that you are working on taking care of yourself, and not in a performative way? Because many of us are really, really good at performance. We perform going to the gym a couple times a week. We perform going to therapy. You showing up so you don't get fined, but are you doing the work that happens in those conversations after? We show up and performatively journal. Well, listen, there's a lot of talk about manifesting. Yesterday was Lionsgate, which 8/8/2022 was a huge day for folks who believe in numerology and that manner of work and manifestation, for being able to actualize and visualize big things. But if you're going through the motions, but you're not doing the work that comes after it, and you can't recognize when things and gifts are being placed in your lap because your mental or your spiritual is off, that also has an effect on your physical health, on your emotional health. So it's all connected. So if you're looking to be successful, and listen, remember I told y'all last week, thumb and finger, I'm pointing to myself too. These are things I have to say to myself. If you're looking to be successful, then I would say put down the keyboard and pick up the pen and paper so that you can start to map out for yourself, what does it look like for me right now to be successful in my life so that I can do the darn thing in my work. And the reason I say in my work is because some of us are entrepreneurs. Some of us are CEOs of other people's companies. Some of us are VPs. Some of us are day-to-day managers. Some of us don't have the title. We're just out here working our regular job. Cool. How are you putting together a plan for your day-to-day life so that it impacts your work and so that when your work life tips, because let's face it, we have a pendulum. Sometimes your work is going to swing you a different way. When it tips, you have something in place that is your catch. And so when I realized that I was doing all this work on my physical health, but my mental health was completely, totally off. Y'all could go back in my Instagram feed, in my videos. I'm not quite sure you'd be able to tell that I was like in the middle of like a hell of a depression. And I'm doing the stuff I'm supposed to do. Let me tell you what I didn't have a plan for. What happens and what tips me into having a depressive episode? Did I even know? Was I even aware? And I'm doing this work myself. So, which is why I said coaches need coaches. Practitioners need to have other places to practice, right? So as a manager and as a leader, do you have someone who can help hold you to account, who can co-partner with you, who can be a co-leader, co-thought leader with you as a part of your overall plan? That's what I want y'all to be thinking about. Hey, for folks who are joining, it's really, really critical to be able to do that for yourself if you're really trying to have sustainable success. And it's critical to be able to have that as a foundational tool and sometimes as your frontline defense if you need to pivot into something else. So let me look and see in the chat. So as a coach, I cannot stress the importance of having several coaches if needed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. It is so critical. And I don't trust folk who don't have other folk who are they leaning into. I'm like, so no one. So as I wrap up, because we're coming into our last 5 minutes, we're going to be spending this month really digging into each aspect of it. And so on Friday, I'm going to be talking on LinkedIn Live with a branding specialist and creative director on simplifying your life. What does it mean to actually just kind of simplify? How do we let go of things? Who are we having the conversation with when we have to let go of stuff? So I'm going to have Rochelle DeSadipo. We've had her here on the show before. So I'm going to have her on LinkedIn audio. And so if you're on LinkedIn, just make sure you add me at Kishshana Palmer. I won't be LinkedIn Live because I don't think we can be in two places. I'll try, but I don't think we can be in two places. And we didn't want to be on video. We're going to try LinkedIn Live. So that'll be on Friday, but I'll make sure we record that. And then next week, I'm going to be talking more about the different aspects of how to lead and how to ensure that you're doing a wellness checkup. This is our month to be able to really check in and check up on what's working well, what we've let fall to the wayside, what we need to do better. And if you are looking for a complete reset, you're like, Kish, this just woke me up out my bed and I do good work and I think I'm on it, but I kind of need an opportunity to do a reset, then I'm inviting you to the Rooted Retreat, which is the retreat for women, non-binary folk, that I am hosting in Jamaica, September 29th through October 2nd, powered by the Rooted Collaborative, which is our global community for women who are doing social good. And that is going to give you the opportunity with our facilitators to have a reset. So if you're one of my coaches, but I hang out with some great folks who are watching it and you just need time, you don't want to be the student, just time out and come on and join us. If you're working in an organization and a company where you're like, I am stressed to the hill, I don't know if I'm going to make it, then I want you to come on and join us so that we can help reset you. I can talk about the women who have had their whole lives reset because they spent a couple of days with us. This is an opportunity to be able to be poured into and also for you to activate on a plan for yourself. Because I don't want y'all to just be bringing all the tithes into the storehouse without y'all being able to say, and here's how I'm about to put back into it for yourself. And so we're going to do that. And if you feel like you actually need some more like an intensive time to just work with me, then you can take up one of my VIP days, which I am happy to have folks be able to join me for a VIP day. That's where we'll spend half a day working on a plan that you have for yourself, working on a plan you might have for your team or your company. I really leave it broad enough so that the outcome of that day is that you have an implementable game plan for the next thing that you're working on. And so I invite you to do that if you need a little bit more time. But if you are looking for more of a group experience, then the Rooted Retreat is the place to be, and you can grab your spot. I'm closing registration at the end of this month, so you'll hear me talk about it a lot. And that is going to be at therootedretreat.com. And if you're like, Kishshana, each of those things sounds great, but you know what I really need? I really need some time to be able to work on managing better. Like that's what I'm really needing to navigate now. Then I want you to join me at Kish Camp. You can go to kishcamp.co. Really simple. So just kishcamp.co. And if you're watching this live, I have a bit.ly link there, kishco.info/kishcamp. So there's multiple ways to go to Kish Camp and to be able to join me for my management summer camp for stressed out leaders. And we have 2 more dates left, September 7th and 14th. Those are our last dates for Kish Camp Live. And then you'll have to access it on your own. And so if that's what you're into and you're like, I just need management help, like I'm new to this, or I'm tired, or I got to get a refresh, or, you know, I have new team members who I want to be able to get in the game because they need to be able to manage better, than join Kish Camp. So you have 3 really great, hey Bree, 3 really great opportunities to plug in so that you can lead a life you love, have a career that you love, and be healthy AF. And so we are going to be talking about this over the next month. So you have plenty of opportunities to plug in. If you want to be on my live show, make sure you send a note to letschat@kishshanaco.com so we can get you plugged in, or PM me on any of the platforms that you're watching. A member of my team will connect with you. If there's somebody you think I should be talking to, let me know. But for now, planning for your health. Keep it simple. Check in on where you are in your life right now. What are the things that you go to when you're in panic? What are the things that you go to when you're most successful? What's going to have the most impact, the biggest domino effect on other aspects of your life? If you're able to check in on that, then you are on your way to building out your wellness plan. This is going to be our month for our wellness checkup and check-in. And today was installment 1. I'll be dropping 4 special episodes of Let's Take This Offline starting on Thursday. So make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast to get that. And we just have a ton, right? Like this, you can't say that Kishshana didn't give you some ways to be able to get your whole life together. And I hope this was one of them. So friends, that's it for me. This has been another exciting conversation of A Shot of Vitamin K Live. And I just drop me your comments and what you thought, what you want to hear more of, what you're curious about, so we can stay engaged in the conversation. And I look forward to, oh wait, before we do, we have a question. If you're only pouring into others and you never replenish yourself, how can you affect change? You can't, right? And so that's the whole point of the work that we're doing now. So I so appreciate that question, Timothy. Thank you so much for that. So that's what we got for now, y'all. I wish you a fantastic rest of your week. Join us on LinkedIn Live on Friday at 10:30 Eastern, and you can watch this on replay. Share this with friends and keep it locked for more. Thank y'all so much and have a good one.
Working from home is cool, but it can get lonely. Even if you're in the office a few times a week, your calendar's probably still full of Zoom meetings, conference call, and other endless screen things. What if I told you there's a premier experience that allows you to reconnect while you disconnect? Join us in sunny Jamaica for the 2022 Rooted Retreat for an all-inclusive experience where professional development and high-end luxury come together in perfect harmony. Stress doesn't deserve your best, you do. Treat yourself to the best at this year's Rooted Retreat, presented by the Rooted Collaborative.